see all the formulas related to your electrostatic chapter, and these formulas will be very much useful to work out the numericals related to your board examination as well as for JEE and NEET. So let's start. First, if there are n number of charges, then what will be the total charge? The total charge equal to the summation of the individual charges, or you can simply say the total charge is the algebraic sum of the individual charges. So what you will write it? Your Qt equal to Q1 plus Q2 up to dot Qn. This is total charge formula. Next is your charge is integral multiple of integer n. Q equal to plus or minus Ne. Next comes to your Coulomb's law. What it states that F equal to Q1 Q2 by R square. This is in scalar form. If you are going for vector form, then what you are going to write? F of 1 2 equal to K Q1 Q2 by R12 into R12 cap. It is for the same charge, okay, because it will be repulsive in nature. Similarly, F21 vector, it is K Q1 Q2 by R21 cap. It is for the same charge. You can find your force at Q1 due to Q2. Here force at Q2 charge due to Q1. Okay. Next come to your, if it is of opposite charge, then F12 equal to K Q1 Q2 by R21 cap. It is just opposite charges. Similarly, F21 equal to K Q1 Q2 by, sorry, it is 1 2, correct. So it is R12 cap. It is for the opposite charges. Clear? Next is your electric field. So what is electric field? E equal to KQ by R square n cap. Unit is Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. This is the formula for electric field. Next formula is your dipole moment P. What is dipole moment vector? It is 2QA. What is its unit? Coulomb into meter. And the direction of dipole moment vector is always from negative to positive. This is the direction. Clear? This is about it. Next, what is the formula of potential? Potential equal to KQ by R. You can better write it as plus or minus KQ by R, this much of volt. Potential is a scalar quantity, whereas electric field is a vector quantity. Dipole moment also is a vector quantity. Fine. Next, what is your electric field due to dipole in axial and equatorial line? So your E axial equal to K 2P vector by RQ n cap. Okay. And what is your E equatorial? Equal to minus K P vector by RQ n cap. Then what is the relationship between the E axial and E equatorial? It is nothing but E axial equal to 2 times of E equatorial. It is mod. Okay, then what about the potential due to dipole? The potential due to dipole is equal to, it is plus or minus K P vector by R square, or KP by R square. So what you are concluding from this? Actually it is P vector is nothing but, better you write it as P cos theta. plus or minus k p cos theta by r square. And if your theta equal to, you can take it as 0 degree. That is, it will be your right side axial line. This is your center. This is only your right side axial line. Then what is your B on the axial? Towards right. How much it will be? Cos 0 will be 1. So it is kp by r square. Similarly, when your axial line, it is from 0 towards left. So theta equal to 180 degree. Then what will be your B axial is nothing but, how much you are taking, it is plus or minus p by r square, depending on the charge. Okay. Next, if your theta equal to 90 degree, that is B equatorial, cos 90 0. Clear? Subdivision of it. Next is your Gauss law. What is Gauss law? Phi equal to Q by epsilon naught, charge enclosed. So phi unit is Weber. Next is another formula for phi is E dot A, that is called as EA cos theta. Fine. Next is your torque. What is the torque of dipole? Torque equal to P vector cross E vector, or it is also called as PE sin theta. Then potential energy due to dipole. Potential energy of dipole, this is equal to minus P vector dot E vector, or it is called as minus PE cos theta. Fine. Next formula. Next is the electric field application of Gauss law. Your electric field due to linear charges, linear charge distribution. Then how much it will be? K lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r n cap. Okay, this is due to the linear charge distribution electric field. Another electric field due to the surface charge distribution, it is K sigma by 2 epsilon naught n cap. Fine. And this is just now removed from your CBSE syllabus, but it is applicable for other state board students or JE and NET students. So I am mentioning it is for electric field for the volume surface. It is nothing but your same KQ by R square n cap. Now suppose this is you are taking a circle of radius R. Then it is KQ by R square. If you are taking outer at a point P, that is at a distance of caps R, then now your electric field will be KQ by caps R square. Clear? Now suppose you are taking one of the inside point, let it be Q, where the distance is small r1. Then in such case, your electric field, it is at R, it is at small r, it is at r1 is 0. Inside it, it will be a 0. Okay, next is your energy stored in capacitor, that is equal to half CV square equal to Q square by 2C, this much of joule. Next is your combination of capacitors. Suppose two capacitors are connected in series, then what will be the net capacitance? It is 1 by CT equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Even you can extend it for n number of capacitors. Then 20 is, if the capacitors are connected in parallel, then total capacitance is nothing but algebraic sum of the individual capacitance. So you can write it as CT equal to C1 plus C2. Okay. Another formula is for capacitor Q equal to CV. I hope I covered all the formulas. It's around 21 formulas related to your electrostatic chapter, in which I have left about the like your superposition principle. It is nothing but summation of all the forces on that charge. So vectorically you just need to add it. Similarly for electric field you are finding k cube by r square. For n number of charges, what will be the electric field? You are going to just add it and extend it. That's all. Nothing new in that. So I have not mentioned it. Remaining, these are the basic formulas which you need to remember, practice it. First understand the concept. Once you understand the concept and work out the numerical, these formulas automatically it will come to your mind. Along with the units you need to remember, and the value of k is 9 into 10 to the power 9. It's always advisable is that whenever, for example, they are giving the q and they are asking you to find the phi, don't substitute phi naught. What you do? Multiply numerator and denominator by 4 pi. Then it will become 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by. So substitute direct by k 9 into 10 to the power 9 along with that 4 pi. So that it will make the calculation part simple. Okay students, you can take the snapshot. I hope these formulas will be very much helpful for you. Let us see few more formulas related to electrostatic. That is your capacitance without dielectric, that is nothing but your epsilon naught A by D. Okay. Then when you introduce the dielectric, how much it is? It is K epsilon naught A by D, this much of Faraday. Next, polarization. That is due to the alignment of the charge carriers or orientation of the charge carriers. How much it is? Polarization equal to Chi E into E. Okay. Next is, if you are arranging certain charges in a particular configuration, how much will be the potential energy? Let us see it for 3 charges. For example, you are taking 3 charges Q1, Q2, Q3 with position vector R1, R2, R3. Then now it is your R13, this is R23, this is your R12. So your total potential energy U equal to K Q1 Q2 by R12 plus Q2 Q3 by R23 plus Q1 Q3 by R13. This is the total potential energy. Even you can do the extension for another any 1 or 2 charges, 4 to 5 charges, it will be convenient. You can do it for any number of charges. Okay. Now what is the relationship between the electric field and the potential? Electric field is always the negative of the potential gradient. So minus dV by dt. So hence your electric field unit, another unit is volt per meter, whereas we used earlier another electric field, okay, that I forgot to inform you, very good, E equal to